Hi everyone, I'm Kristy Sellars and this is how to do a twisted grip handspring. So this is a move that is a nemesis for a lot of people, and I'm going to show you the way that I teach it, the way that I've found has had a lot of success. So this is not something that you should attempt if your instructor has not told you that you're ready to. And obviously there are lots of different ways that you can attempt this trick, but this is just the way that works for me, and it may work for you as well. So it doesn't mean that any one way is right or wrong, it just means different bodies, different techniques. So the first thing that you are going to need to do is, as I said, make sure that your instructor has said that you are ready for this trick and that you are strong enough to attempt this trick. So many people do get injuries from trying this move because their bodies just are not ready, the shoulders are not built up enough. So I'm going to show you some exercises that really help to, number one, warm up the shoulders, and number two, you need to be strengthening the shoulders. So these are two really important things before you get into this move. This video, it's going to be a few minutes long. I'm not just going to rush through it and go here, here, here. It's a full comprehensive training video for the twisted grip handspring. So let's get into it. The first one that I like to do to warm up my shoulders is circle the arms backwards. So I'm also warming up my knees at the same time. I just feel like it gives me a nice momentum. So while I'm doing this, I'm pulling my belly button towards my spine and engaging my core. So the way that I do that, like I said, pulling the belly button to the spine and squeezing your wee muscles. So all of those things squeezing together rather than just kind of flopping out and not worrying about it. So while you're warming up, you need to start activating those muscles to make sure that they're going to be working for you. So now I'm going forward. Then I'm going to go across, so I can alternate arms here, keeping the shoulders down. So you don't want to be up here, you're just keeping them down, and I'm not letting my back like bow out or anything. It's just the movement in the shoulders. Then I come to the pole and I'll do one arm version of the arm swings. You just get a bit of a different range by doing it with the one. And then on the other side, obviously go a little bit longer than this when you're doing yours, but for the purpose of the video I'll speed things up just a little bit. So from there we are going to warm up our wrists, so linking the fingers together and doing a figure eight with the wrists, and then I like to go back and forward. It's really important to warm up every single part of the body that is working to do the handspring. It's not just about shoulders and then go, it's everything. So from there, we're going to open and close the fingers, open and close the hands, I should say, and then give them a shake. So they should feel pretty good. We're going to come down to the floor in a second and do a bit more. From here, we're going to warm up the elbow joint. So we're going out and back in, and then maybe alternate the other way. You want them to feel really, really kind of liquidy. That doesn't make sense. So on the floor, we're going to come to a push-up position, and now this is one of my favorite moves for strengthening the shoulders for this particular trick. I'm going to sink down, so my arms are still straight, and then push up. So I'm trying to concave the chest on the way up, and then down, I kind of let it go back the other way. But I do keep my arms straight the whole time. Now when you first do it, you may not have much range, which is totally fine. You don't need to have a big range. It's more about warming up the joint. So you want to do about 20 of those, and you can rest in between, but after you do that, your shoulders are going to feel nice and warm, which is awesome. Another one that you can do while you're down at the floor, just making sure that you can see me, but is putting your hands down to stretch the wrists. So I've got my hands on the floor this way to stretch the wrists, then turn it over, and then I also like to do what's called a mating starfish. So we've got the fingers together, the hands together, and they're pressing. This is a good one too. Then, what are we up to? We've done this one. We're going to warm up our hips because our leg that swings is, we need the hip to be nice and warm to be able to get that leg high. So you warm up the hips. And then we are going to warm up just one more stretch for the wrists that are going to be twisting. So it's good to do both. Ideally you're training on both sides, but turn this hand over and then just kind of assist it to turn a little more. When I started trying to do this trick, I felt like I didn't have the flexibility in the wrist to turn it around that way, but just a gentle kind of assisted stretch here in the shoulder is really, really nice. In the wrist, I should say. And then the other hand. And then we'll just finish off with our usual shoulder stretches. So coming across. Now there's some really good techniques and strength building exercises that you can do with resistance bands and the pole. But I'll mention them, but I won't go through those today. But it's definitely really good to strengthen up that rotator cuff so that you avoid injury. Once again, when we do this stretch, keep that shoulder down nice and low, and then when it goes over the top, you're pulling, and you don't want to let your body kind of arch out. That way you keep it nice and neutral, keep your chin off your chest, and if you want more, you can slide the hands together and grab and pull down. All right, so that's feeling pretty good. The one with the resistance band would just be to put the band around the pole, stand here, keep this elbow in to the side of your body and open up and back. Just this movement, keeping this shoulder roll, or both shoulders rolled back, and just doing this one is a really, really good one. And then obviously you can do the other side as well. Think about this move, especially the training that goes into it, not just as the move itself, but you need to do like prehab on your body to protect it so that you're not going to injure yourself. Now, having said that, let's get into the technique of doing the move. So the way that I set it up is to start about 30 centimeters or a foot, depends what country you're in, from the base of the pole. Then you're going to bend forward at the hip, okay? So don't lean your whole body in, you're just going to bend forward at the hip. Now, I'll let my shoulder come onto the pole there, and that's about the height that I like to start this move at. I have seen another way of teaching it is to come completely flat back and put the arm on that way. I know that that does work. This way I found to be a bit more successful for when I've taught it. So yeah, see what works for you. So bending forward at the hip and my shoulder touches the pole. That is step one. From there, the arm that's going to come onto the pole is going to reach straight up and grab on there. Now the reason that I like to do it this way is because you get a better grip around the pole with your hand. When you just try to reach here, you don't really get a good grasp around the pole, whereas when you lean forward, then go up, you can see that my hand is fully grabbing around the pole. Now this really helped me in the beginning because I didn't have that flexibility, as I said before. So forward, reach up, grab. All right, so that's step two. From here, the bottom arm, I'm going to bring the elbow into my stomach. So if I elbow myself in the stomach, then just bend forward to put the hand on. This is the best way that I've found to measure the sort of distance as to where the hands should be apart. Once you get used to doing the trick, it's much easier. You'll just kind of know where to put them. But a lot of the time when I see people try the move, their hands are too close together. It's why they're not getting up, or they're too far apart. So this is a really easy way to just kind of measure where they should be. And then once you get used to it, you'll just put them where they go. So once again, step one. Step two, Step 3. Okay? Now I can step out and kind of move around because my hands are in the correct place. Right, from here, the whole time I do this move, I'm engaged in the shoulders. So don't let them go relaxed and then try and engage as you go up. They need to be activated the whole time. And from there, we're just going to start a starfish swing. So this is going to be step 4. Now, the swing is simply just to come up like this. And all I'm trying to do is get my body to a starfish position, like there. So the purpose of this, and I know that we are using momentum, but it's a very difficult move and probably even more dangerous if you tried to deadlift this right away. So using the momentum is okay, provided you have the right technique. So using the momentum, we're trying to make that starfish position. Now, a lot of the time, what I see people do is swing the leg, but the legs are swinging forward. So what you want to imagine is that you're in a hallway, a really, really narrow hallway, like this. Or I can show you facing the camera. When I swing, my body should be pretty much staying, well, you can see there's a pole right here, which I shouldn't hit because my body's going to come straight out towards the camera. Probably not the best view, but you get the idea. Instead of, what a lot of people do is to swing and they're trying to bring, you're way ahead of yourself. Trying to bring that leg forward and up. It's not time yet. Don't worry about that. It's not time for it. We wait for the right time. So we swing and it's nice and flat. We want to keep our body nice and flat. Can you see how my body stays flat? Hips forward. Okay? So the hips are pushing forward and my body is flat. If you're an instructor or if you're a pole buddy and you're training with someone and they are bending in the middle, so instead of swinging to the camera and being flat, you would see a bend in the leg, or the hip, I should say. If you see that, that's the first thing where it's going wrong. So just keep an eye out for that one. Step 1. Step 2. Step 3. Step 4, starfish swing. Awesome. Step 5 is, with the top leg that is swinging, you're going to start to swing it higher and higher and higher and higher each time you swing. And it's nice to do a bit of a gradual build-up. Don't just try to go from 0 to 100 or standing to straight over in the first go. I like to see the momentum building up, a bit more, and a bit more, and then it goes. So when you swing out, point that foot up towards the ceiling after you have passed the flat starfish. I'll show you what I mean. You'll see, so I'm swinging, I'm in my starfish, I'm going a little higher, I'm going a little higher. Now I'm starting to point the foot up to the roof. As I do that, the bottom leg is going to bend. Why does the bottom leg bend? Because, well, let me tell you. The bottom leg bends because it means that the weight starts to push up rather than hanging down still. By bending it, we allow our body to keep the momentum going up towards the roof. I have found that really helpful, and it also helps to turn your body. When the leg stays straight, it's kind of like a weight holding you down. So, watch again. So you can see I put the hands on and I know where they're meant to go by now because I've done it so many times. So, starfish swing, here, starting to go up towards the roof. Now, the whole time, I'm keeping my shoulders activated, like this, yeah, nice and strong. And also, you should not, and I've made this mistake many, many years ago, when you've got the bottom arm straight, don't, even if you're not hyperextended, you need to kind of just keep, don't know how to explain this. Instead of just kind of relaxing onto it, you need to keep it not bent, it's still straight, but don't rest into the joint. That won't end well. So just keep everything nice and engaged. So, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5. Okay? And the last step. Yeah, the last step. This is the one, this is the money shot. This is the one where it all comes together or it all falls apart. So, imagine this is my leg. The leg is swinging up, right? It's pointing to the roof. It's doing well. Now, when you're looking up, you should be able to see the pole, you can see your leg. That's another common mistake I've seen actually, is people will try to do the trick and they keep looking at the ground. Where do you think you're going to go if you're looking at the ground? Look up, and that's where you will go. So, we're looking up, we can see the pole, we can see the ceiling, and our leg is coming up. From there, this leg is going to go over to the corner. To the corner. Not to the pole, not next to the pole, over to the corner. Now, a really good way to do this, or to kind of get the idea of what you're doing, is to do it with your arm before you even leave the ground. So from here, this is my leg, it swings up, over to the corner, and back down. Up, over to the corner. The reason that we put it to the corner is it helps tip the weight. By bending the bottom leg and pointing that leg over to the corner, it's going to help tip the body into the position it needs to be to stay up there. So if this is a nemesis move for you, you may have experienced, you kick it up, you think it's all going well, your foot's right near the pole, but then you kind of just crumble back along the front. It's because there's not enough weight over this side. So you need to make sure that the only thing that you're thinking about at that point, obviously still hang on, but the only thing that you want to be thinking about is pointing that foot over to the corner. Now I'll show it to you in stages. I'll do it with the swing, so I'll kind of gradually go over. And if you're doing the swings correctly, you just kind of feel that you can keep tipping, 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 rather than being like one big swing, oh, I hope it works. So that's why I like the gradual progression. So, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, step 6. Once I get there, straighten the other one out. And always use the exit as an opportunity to train the muscles on the way back down. So don't just flop back down, slowly lower yourself as much as you can. At the beginning, it'll feel like you're just flopping, but as you keep doing it, you will get stronger, and that's where it helps with the deadlift. So that's it. We got over. Yay! Hopefully that works. Like I said, all different kinds of techniques. This has been really successful for me. I'll go through it a couple more times, a little faster. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 'Okie dokie. Just trying to think of common mistakes. One of them is as you go out, bending the bottom arm. So remembering to keep that straight, keep it all activated. Not pulling into the top arm. As I said, if you're hanging, that's where the shoulder injuries happen. So keep it nice and activated. Strengthen those shoulders up. What else? We said about bending in the middle. We don't want that. We said about kicking the foot up to touching the pole, which is not where it wants to be. It needs to go over. Now remember, yes, it is a lot of technique, but it is also heavily reliant on your strength. So training this in the stages will help your body strengthen to do the trick, but it's not just a matter of, oh, I use this technique and then I can do it. Your shoulders do need to be strong enough to do this. So you can't just walk into pole after 3 months and have a go at it unless you're very, very skilled and probably have a background in something else. But I think you can understand what I'm saying with, as long as your body is ready for it, this technique may be the key that unlocks that nemesis move for you. Yeah, I think that pretty much covers everything that I wanted to do in this video. Obviously it's a little bit shorter than doing like a full handspring workshop, but if you enjoyed it, please leave me a comment. And I'm doing a nemesis series of tricks, so I'm going to do some videos like this one on other moves that people commonly struggle with. So please comment if you have a suggestion or a request, and I will do my best to do that. I know that at the moment it's like people are sort of back in the studio, some people are at home, COVID's all over the place. So if you are finding this helpful and you are able to train, if not, if you don't have access to a pole, you can still work on your shoulder strength. It's a really good way to start. And yeah, so just trying to think before I finish. Let's just one more time see it all together, because I didn't really do it in the stages.